As a writer, sometimes you have to just put the story down. Hey everyone, Latrell here, and I just wanted to come on here and talk about my journey in writing the Namara series, because it has not been a very smooth journey for so many reasons. Much like my previous sci-fi series, The Friend Trilogy, the Namara series is birthed from a short story called Who Will Save You, which is actually available in my Karma and Other Shit anthology. Who Will Save You starts off like it's in the middle of a story that's already been being told, and that was purposeful because I knew that I wanted to expand that story into something bigger. In the story, there is this woman who comes down in a spaceship. She's like 7 feet tall, huge afro, wearing purple, and she goes into the crowd and she looks out for people who she refers to as starseeds. And the thing about that woman, she's only looking for the starseeds that look like her. As she's taking her starseeds with her, other people in the crowd are looking around saying, I don't understand, I don't understand. They don't understand because they don't look like her and they don't know what's going on. But the starseeds that she collects, they understood. So in The Mother, that basically starts off the story of what's really going on. We start off with two sisters, Mae Williams and Dr. Tanya Washington. Both of them have aspirations of being mothers. However, due to what's going on in the world, mostly in America, the decline in birth rates, and nobody can understand why the decline is happening. Unlike what our current reality is, people just don't want to have children for multiple reasons. These people in the book, they want to have children. However, two outcomes happen, and they're not really considered good outcomes. And they're not considered good outcomes because as years go by, humanity is just going to be gone because of what? Without giving a lot away, at a certain age, the humans will not survive. In the process of what's happening with the decline in birth rates, there is a company called BioUtero Pharmaceuticals. They start off as a pharmaceutical company, but they start to go into like the AI type of deal where they're offering artificial uteruses to help people have children. And with a lot of things that are new and haven't been tested well, things go wrong. Things are just, how can I say this? It's not pretty. It's not pretty. And that kind of sets the catalyst for what happens in the second book. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, sometimes you have to put some stories down. And I had to put this series down for a while. I started this series it's actually coming up, I thought it was 2 years. It's actually coming up on 3 years. So I started this series almost 3 years ago. And as I got to a point, I was finished with The Mother actually back in 2024. And I was already working on book 2 and 3 at the same time. But something happened in 2024 in November. I don't know, maybe you can remember, where in the second book, reality was getting scary because what I wrote down in the second book happened. Believe me, I was shocked because I didn't think it was going to happen. It took me days to really realize that this was happening. And in the midst of that, I looked down at that book, I looked down at my writing, and I said, this is too real and I can't do this right now. I can't finish this. So I sat it down, and for a year, over a year, because like I said, it's been since 2023, 2024. 2024 is when I sat everything down. Now we're in 2026. I couldn't. I was just a little not scared of what was happening. I mean, even though what's happening is scary, I was just scared because what I wrote had happened, and I just really didn't think that was going to happen. I'm not going to reveal the title of the second and third book. I've already had the titles down for a while, but let's just say the title of the second book really mirrors what's happening to the United States right now. And the title of the third book is where we actually want to get to. So writing this series honestly, it's been fun, because I feel like it's been fun, but at the same time it's been scary, and I'm happy to be going back into it and finishing it. I'm actually 9 chapters into book 2, and I'm like 2 chapters into book 3. Like I said, I'm writing them together. I prefer it that way. But if you've seen my previous video about, I said I do social sci-fi. This is very social, all right. Because it deals with declining birth rates and what's happening politically. So, yeah. I'm going to be honest, in this series, a lot of the things that I say about the male species is not going to be very well received by the male species. And I think a lot of it has to do with how men have run the country and the world. So a lot of good things aren't happening. And I said to myself when I was writing, I said there were 2 things I wouldn't ever write about. That was racism. Check that off, because in Karma and Other Shit, I wrote a story about racism. And I wouldn't do dystopia. Check that off, because this kind of leans in dystopia. Social sci-fi, man. What can I say? I will also say, you never know what your writing is going to lead you to until you start writing it. The story that I originally thought in my head, it was only going to be 1 book. It was actually going to be like sort of a short story, going to put it as a part of an anthology. But I thought that idea couldn't really be expanded upon. So I said, maybe something else. I need something else. And I thought about the decline in birth rates, and then that's when the story just started expanding from there. But I'm excited for it, and I really hope people enjoy it for what it is, because like I said, it's taken me years to get through this. And a lot of headaches, heartache, excitement, joy, shock, awe, befuddlement. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good series. I think the ideas were really very different from what I have done before. So I hope that everyone enjoys it. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching.